Hi guys, Brooklyn here. For week 6 discussion, I decided to do question 3, which stated in a well-developed paragraph, describe the best words portfolio you could develop for a course you teach. Following the 6-step procedure suggested in Chapter 13, mention the purpose, the major standards, assess at least 5 artifacts, the organization, and the evaluation method for your portfolio. So following the 6-step procedure suggested in Chapter 13, I plan to develop a composition book portfolio as the best words portfolio to utilize within my elementary classroom. So I've used composition notebooks before during my short time as an elementary art teacher. These are very cheap. They hold up really well, especially with little kids. You can buy them in bulk. They cost no more than 50 cents to 97 cents, depends on what store you go to, either Dollar Tree, Dollar General, or Walmart. As an elementary art teacher, during my first week, I passed out students their books. We wrote our name in our class and the days I had them, and I allowed them a full class period to use whatever art medium they'd like to decorate the front of their notebook, either pencil, markers, glue paper, decorate it however they saw fit to make this book personalized to them. It was easily storable within a bookshelf, so students were able to walk in, grab it, and get to their seats. So I'm going to discuss a little bit more about the composition portfolio. The composition book portfolio aims to help students learn how to effectively document their skill sets and achievements, challenge students to produce their best quality of work, and teach them how to conduct self-reflection. Students' portfolios will assess standards and curriculum goals such as clarifying educational purposes, evaluating learning, diagnose students' needs, integrating knowledge through reflection, and showcasing achievement. The artifacts that will be displayed within the composition book portfolio will be formative assessments such as quizzes, homework assignments, like prompts, I'm getting tongue-tied. Summative, I do apologize if I can't pronounce it correctly. Summative assessments, I got it. So, such as projects, artwork, end of course tests, and informal assessments, grading rubrics or checklists. The teacher and students will be involved in defining the portfolio's purpose, focus, and organization, because educators need to encourage students to take more ownership and responsibility over their learning process, along with guiding students to help develop the portfolio shared with their parents during parent-teacher conferences. Students' composition book portfolios will be organized within a table of contents that be created and printed for the students to cut and glue within their portfolios. The composition book portfolio will be divided into sections with color-coded tabs that can be referenced within the table of contents, such as math, science, social studies, phonics, spelling, and writing. During my time as an elementary art teacher, we had color tabs on ours that stated notes, sketching, skills, free time, free draw, and also, our feedback as well, where I had them clip their golden ticket feedback that I created, and I would pass back to them that kind of discuss about their projects. So it was all kept in one book, and if I had parents who came to the art room during parent-teacher conference, or if I decided I needed to go to their classroom and kind of talk to their teacher, I brought the book, showed them what we were doing, and it was just a very quick and easy thing, show what we've done to showcase the student. The entries within the portfolio will either be written in by the students, glue printed inserts given by the educator, or stapled in assessments and feedback sheets. This also was a great way for me to bring my personal artistic style into the classroom, and also played off my graphic design degree. I always designed my own feedback sheets, rubrics, and also worksheets that I would print for the students to either glue, or I had them staple their thing into the composition book, so we did not lose it. Each portfolio will be assessed daily by students to update their portfolio for 5 minutes of each subject content unit. So within the art room, my students would walk in, quickly grab their composition book, and it was like our bell work for the day. So they had 5 minutes to do whatever I had on the smartboard and do it within their book before we got started on the project or the lesson for the day. We'll be evaluated weekly for the instructor to document students' learning process to mastery of a subject, provide feedback, both positive reinforcements to help students learn from mistakes, and assess how students are reciprocating information based on the educator's classroom management and teaching style. So as an art teacher, I only had them twice. So during my hour of free time in between grades, I would take out a class of composition books, look through them quickly, see if students are understanding. If they weren't, I had a tally sheet right next to me, and I would mark how many students were struggling with values. I would mark 1, 2, 3 until I got through all the books, and I'd kind of judge based on the tallies. If 50% of my students were struggling, it was a skill set that I needed to go back to reteach so I can hit that 75 to 90% mastery. Being little kids, they do not retain information well at that point because they're still learning. They're learning the rules and learning how to be an effective student. So taking into consideration, use my observation notes as well. I would see, my class was very talkative that day, and kind of assess what maybe I can do different as well. But overall, I found the composition book portfolio to be very useful for my teaching style, but also when I was being an art teacher, because for elementary kids, I wasn't going to buy an actual sketchbook. I wasn't going to make my parents, the students, buy them. They was very cheap, and I was able to buy them with my budget. So that is my question for week 6 discussion, and I look forward to hearing any feedback.